here is another book, one of my favourites, Halsbury Statutes, 4th edition, volume number 10. Everyone see what that says. Constitutional law. So anyone who says we haven't got a written constitution, what the fuck is that then? Right? So again, what I'm going to do is read out Edward I, 25, Magna Carta 1297, right? We started this by showing you some certain things, but I am going to read you something that applies to everyone, including Northern Ireland, right? And it says this, Edward, by the grace of God, of England, Lord of Ireland and Duke of Guyenne, to all archbishops, bishops, we have seen the great chart of Lord Henry, sometime King of England, our father, of the liberties of England in these words. Henry, by the grace of God, of England, Lord of Ireland, Duke of Normandy and Guyenne, and Earl of Anjou, to all archbishops, bishops, abbots, blah, 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 present Charlotte, right? And we unto our honour Almighty God. And for the salvation of the souls of our progenitors and successors, King of England, to the advancement of the holy granted to all bishops, archbishops, bishops, abbots, which is why it was so important that the bishop the other day sent that letter, which is going viral, to the king. I've also sent a similar letter to the king, right? But from the subject's point of view, barons and all free men, right? So this is what it says. The advancement of holy granted to all bishops, abbots, free will of all men, earls, barons, and to all the free men of this our realm, these liberties following, to be kept in our kingdom of England forever. All right. I just want to make sure you all understand that. Chapter 1, confirmation of liberties. First, we have granted to God, and by this our present charter have confirmed for us and our heirs forever. Count how many times I say forever. This is in the confirmation of the liberties, right? Confirmed for us and our heirs forever, that the Church of England shall be free and have all of her whole rights and liberties inviolable. That means that you cannot take them away. We have granted also and given to all the free men of our realm, for us and our heirs forever, those liberties underwritten, to have and to hold to them and their heirs of us and our heirs forever. Right? So my count there was 3 times. 4 times it says 3 times forever in the English Bill of Rights, and it says in this kingdom for all time to come once, right? That means you can never erase these rights. The people that are telling you that that they can do as they please, right, are lying to you. And again, what I'm going to do now is go to a particular part of this. One is, there's so much in this book, it's unreal, right? I do approve and affirm forever, right? So the statute, the first, the king's children declared inheritable in England whatsoever, and it says forever. The words and what it says, letters patent. Let me just make sure I've got another one. King and Film, Liberties franchise, not the Commonwealth. Right. So chapter 1 of the. So this is another one. Henry II, confirmation of liberties. And it basically says, again, you can't do anything against you. Chapter 1, liberties confirmed. First, the Holy Church and all the Lords, spiritual and temporal, and all other kings, people, having liberties and franchises, and also the cities and boroughs, shall have to enjoy all their liberties and franchises well used, and not repealed, nor by the common law repealable. It is not repealable, right? You cannot take these rights away. And all I'm doing is showing you in the law books, this is still law. This isn't me making it up. It isn't my interpretation. It's what the law book actually says, right? So again, I want to get into something here and show you. We've got the petition of right. Again, I talk about this a lot of times, right? And now we've got the Bill of Rights, right? Now I'm coming to something that's really important. Standing armies, subjects' rights. So we can create our own militias, right? Subjects' arms, that the subjects which are Protestants may have arms for their defence suitable for their condition and as allowed by law. As allowed by law is deeply gone into, what they're actually saying is everyone by law can have a weapon for defense. What you can't do is have a weapon to use it unlawfully, and if you use it unlawfully, you will be punished by the law as allowed by law. In other words, and they were specific about murder, and they were specific about poaching, because the Lord was more worried about people gaming illegally, right? Taking game on their land. It's our food, it's not yours, right? That's what they was doing. So when it says as allowed by law, it means self-defense as allowed by law, right? And it's really, really important that people understand what that means. And you can have any weapon that you can afford, right? But what I'm going to do then is, you've got the Crown and Recognition Act, which again I bring up. Enacted in the Parliament were the laws and statutes of this kingdom, and as such ought to be reputed, taken and obeyed by all people of this kingdom. Right? It cannot be. That cannot be. So now I'm going to the Acts of Settlement 1701. Remember when in the other book I mentioned that's what it said, and it said that the king had to abide by our laws. I'm taking to chapter 4 of that, or Article 4, whatever you want to describe it as. And it says this: the laws and statutes of the realm confirmed. This is still law, right? And whereas the laws of England are the birthright of the people thereof, and all the kings and queens who shall ascend the throne of this realm ought to administer the government of the same according to the said laws, and all of their officers and ministers ought to serve them respectively according to the same. And the said laws, spiritual and temporal and commons, do therefore further humbly pray that all of the laws and statutes of this realm for securing the established religion and the rights and liberties of the people thereof, and all of the other laws and statutes of the same now in force, may be ratified, confirmed, and the same are by his majesty, and with the advice and consent of the Lord's spiritual, temporal, commons, and by authority of the same ratified, confirmed accordingly. Right? They are our birthright as Englishmen, right? Whereas the laws of England are our birthright. They are our inheritance, right? No one can take them off you. But the British Parliament, illegally and unlawfully, twice have made removals of these laws. They are not allowed to do that, right? They were ultra-vires. They were hidden and buried, and I can show people exactly what they've done. And any lawyer looking at it would say, this is unlawful. You have interfered with our constitution. You have subverted our constitution. That is treason, right? So again, all I'm saying to people is, if we haven't got a constitution, these are just 2 books, right? There's many more, right? Halsbury's, just to make sure you've got this, right? The one on the right, Halsbury statutes, is the statutes, literally, of the Constitution. The highest law in the land, as said, Sir John Laws, or Justice Laws, right? In the Metric Martyr case, Sunderland versus Thorburn, again, 2002. And there's the other one. That's the common law, right? So you've got 2 books here. Both of them say you can't touch our constitution. So why are we allowing a load of foreigners in our parliament, right, to take our liberties? The only person I've seen so far that is even talking about this is Rupert Lowe. So to me, Restore Britain is doing everything that they're saying. I mean, we're just a regiment, right? So we're just a part. We're just saying, listen, this is what you should be doing. It's the only MP that stood up and said, listen, what you done to us during lockdown went against all of our ancient rights and liberties, and we are coming for you, right?